Good evening, everybody. Um, so we are repping Rina's Decor, and we are going to pitch our business idea to you. Okay, if we are going to be running an ad for our business, it's going to be we getting a deal for an uncompleted building, like to furnish an uncompleted building, do the interiors, everything. So they'll reach out to us, give us the job, and then my partner here, Deteeblazer, would go for the
Okay, so when they reach out to us and they give us the job, of course, their space is boring and they need something to make it lively. So the next thing is we think about to transform their boring spaces to something that when they go out, they know they have a beauty space to get back to. And so we talked about the fact that it's an interior decoration company, and the things that interior decoration entails after plastering, it ranges from the POP work, because we all believe that interior decoration work is limited to curtains, window blinds, but there is much more to interior decoration. So we are going to take it from the POP work, whatever comes after plastering. In fact, as a matter of fact, electricals are part of interiors, but to drop that, so we come from the angle of the POP fittings, then we come down to the screening of the walls, we come down to the painting of the walls. When all those things are in place, then of course the space is still boring. So how do we beautify it? How do we transform it from an open site to a closed site? Then that is when we talk of fixing of chandeliers. That is when we talk of the window blinds. We have different blinds. Of course, we have the Turkish, the Swedish blind. We have day and night blind, and we have some old blinds that have been revamped to use the contemporary ways. So we can recommend, and let's not forget, when we talk of the blinds to be used, we have to put some things into consideration. Things like the color of the color of the paint that the house is painted. When we talk of blinds, we also talk of the kitchen, the bathroom accessories. Yes, they are part of the interior, because remember, in the bathroom, especially a spacious one, we have the bathtub, we have the water closet, the water system, we have the mirror, we have the washing hand basin, we have the jacuzzi for bigger bathrooms. And when we consider that, we have to consider the taste of the client. So some bathrooms, of course, they are small, so there might not be need for the bathtub that you lay in. There might be need for just a standing jacuzzi. And for the ones that are spacious, you get the regular bathtubs. And then we have to also consider the placement. Where is this meant to be? So it's one of it. And then from the bathroom, we consider the bedrooms too. The positioning of the wardrobe is going to determine the positioning of the bed. Now, we cannot just place the bed anywhere as well. There are places where the bed head are meant to be. The windows and the doors are going to determine this. And this is why clients trust us with this, because it is normal for a client to just say, okay, I have 100 million. I just need a nice space, transform it. So there are some clients at times that would even be like strong-headed, I want it this way. But, it's in our place to use our professionalism to convince them otherwise, that this is how it is meant to be. This is how it is meant to be. Give them possible available options so they choose from the options, and so both parties will be good. Now, going down to the kitchen accessories, I don't know, are you going to handle that? Okay, so we talk of the kitchen accessories. We have the sink already, we have the kitchen cabinet, but we have stuff that are meant to be in there in the cabinet, and stuffs like that. So we've talked about the bedroom, also the living room space. But there's always a space before the living room, which is the entrance foyer, which is the pre-seat. They call it different names. You entertain guests there, or the seats before they enter the main living room. There is almost nothing much, because it's a very small space. So it is always advisable we have a lighter shade of paintings there. So we give this advices to clients. To some people, they don't know, they will just be like, oh, give it a very dark color. So you advise them, when you have a smaller space, you use lighter paint, so it's going to make it look bigger than it is. And when you have a bigger space, you use lighter shades of not just paint, curtains and other interiors. Then to the living room, we have the focal wall, which is the TV wall in the living room. We have where the chairs are going to be. All those are things that we advise clients. This is what the placement should be like. Then to the dining room, the placement of the frames in the living room. In fact, in our company, we believe that it's not really advisable to load the living room with frames, and that is why we have the entrance foyer, or even a small space before you get to the entrance foyer, which can be like a walkway where you hang your frames. So when guests come in, they entertain their views, they entertain themselves with that before they launch into the main space of the host. And the dining, I don't know if you want to talk about that.
And that's the dining tables and the chairs and some frames also. And most clients would want some hand wash along the side, but some wouldn't. It depends on what the client needs. So right about now, I'll pass it on to you.
Um, that was a very nice presentation from you guys. As an entrepreneur, also, I would love to venture into your businesses and ideas that you have in building up or setting up any projects that might come along the way for me. Nice presentation. Hello viewers, hello Africa. I am David Mali. David Adedamola Daramola, also known as David Mali, and I'm here to uh, make a presentation for you know being an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur, and um, I'm here to do my advert on my brand name, and yeah, uh, I I have I'm into businesses like marketing, trading, transportation, um, and agriculture. So I'm the CEO of the brand and the company, and um, I tend to venture into these businesses just because they complement each other. Um, it's not it's all this started for me as a means of hustling, but it became a like a business idea for me. So as a transporter, I I supply goods that might be requested by from consumers or customers at a particular time, or a given time. I supply it. It makes it easier for me to to move from to mobilize from destination to destination. Uh, I also have a farm. As an agricultural farmer. I also I also supply you know crops and needed food items that customers might need. So alongside that, I also have a poultry, which I make egg productions from. So this has been the way I've been navigating the job and the work, and so far it's been getting better. I'm getting more used to it, despite the hassle. Uh, Alongside, I also want to start going into marketing. So, but this is still something that I'm building up on, because I would have to, meet people for, a contract, that an agreement has to be signed before that happens. So this all sums it up as me being an entrepreneur. Thank you, and God bless.
African Empire reality TV show